Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is August 5th, 2023. We are in the Old Testament book of Judges. We're going to read chapter 15 today, the continuing story of Samson. We just saw that he saw a Philistine woman. He wanted to marry her, had a feast. He gave a riddle. The men came to his wife and went around behind his back and pressured her to find out the answer to the riddle. Angered Samson. He attacked another Philistine village to pay off his debt to that group, but then he storms off. And we see that the father at the end of that story is like, okay, is he gone? So he gives the daughter to somebody else. And that's kind of where this story sets off, because now it's at a later time and Samson is coming back and he wants to go to his wife. And the father's like, hey, I thought you were gone, dude. I don't know what to tell you. She's got a sister. You want the sister? That'll work, won't it? And Samson says, hey, you know what? That's not acceptable to me. In fact, I'm gonna get my revenge on you with some foxes and some torches and a little bit of cleverness here, and burns everything that they own down to the ground. And the rest of the Philistines, now they're angry. They want to know who did it. It was Samson, because he couldn't go to the woman he thought was his wife, so they kill her. They kill the father. And then Samson gets really angry because he's like, okay, that's not the solution I was after. I just kind of wanted to get my revenge and get my wife back. So these Philistines now are going to pursue him. 3,000 of them go to Judah as they're chasing him. So Judah's around Jerusalem. We said we had the Danites originally were between Jerusalem and the coast. The Philistines came in on the coast, drove the Danites off, came up against Judah. And Judah, rather than fighting with them, has capitulated and surrendered and said, you know what, hey, you don't hurt us, we'll do whatever you want. And what they want in this situation is, hey, give us Samson, we'll leave you alone. So Samson is tied up by the Judites. So keep that in mind. It's the Judites that tie him up. And the Judites are tying him up, and he's saying, and Samson's saying, hey, you know what, if all you're going to do is tie me up, that's fine. I'll let you do that. Because I want to go to the Philistines anyway, because that's who I want to fight against. And the Judites say, hey, you know what, that's all we want to do, tie you up, send you over there. Happy, they tie him up, they take him to the Philistines. Samson immediately breaks his vow, or breaks his bonds, grabs the first thing he sees, which was a jawbone of an ass, and kills 1,000 of them. Where does that strength and power come from? Okay, well, does it come from his hair? No, it does not come from his hair. Where does the Scripture going to tell us it comes from? The Spirit of the Lord comes in over him. So it's God that gives him that power. Never his hair. It's never any kind of a vow. It's not something you eat. It's not something you drink. God sends you the Spirit. That's where the strength is, in the Spirit that God has sent him. We'll see that probably tomorrow. We'll go into a little bit more depth on that. But that's basically where this story ends, with 20 years that now Samson is going to lead the Israelite people against the Philistines. So let's go ahead and we're going to read Judges chapter 15. After a while, in time of wheat harvest, it happened that Samson visited his wife with a young goat. He said, let me go into my wife into her room, but her father would not permit him to go in. Her father said, I really thought you thoroughly hated her, therefore I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister better than she? Please take her instead. Samson said to them, this time I shall be blameless regarding the Philistines if I harm them. Then Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and he took torches, turned the foxes tail to tail, put a torch between each pair of tails. When he had set the torches on fire, he let the foxes go into the standing grain of the Philistines, and burned up both the shocks and the standing grain, as well as the vineyards and olive groves. And the Philistines said, who has done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timonite, because he has taken his wife and given her to his companion. So the Philistines came up and burned her and her father with fire. Samson said to them, since you would do a thing like this, I will surely take revenge on you, and after that I will cease. So he attacked them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. Then he went down and dwelt in the cleft of the rock of Etam. Now the Philistines went up and camped in Judah and deployed themselves against Lehi. And the men of Judah said, why have you come up against us? So they answered, we have come up to arrest Samson, to do to him as he has done to us. Then 3,000 men of Judah went down to the cleft of the rock of Etam and said to Samson, do you not know that the Philistines rule over us? What is this you have done to us? And he said to them, as they did to me, so I have done to them. But they said to him, we have come down to arrest you, that we may deliver you into the hand of the Philistines. Then Samson said to them, "Swear to me that you will not kill me yourselves." So they spoke to him, saying, "No, but we will tie you securely and deliver you into their hand, but we will surely not kill you." And they bound him with 2 ropes and brought him up from the rock. When he came to Lehi, the Philistines came shouting against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him. And the ropes that were on his arms became like flax that is burned with fire, and his bonds broke loose from his hands. He found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, reached out his hand and took it, and killed 1,000 men with it. Then Samson said, "With the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps. With the jawbone of a donkey, I have slain 1,000 men." And so it was, when he had finished speaking, that he threw the jawbone from his hand and called that place Ramath Lehi. Then he became very thirsty, so he cried out to the Lord and said, "You have given this great deliverance by the hand of your servant. And now shall I die of thirst and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised?" So God split the hollow place that is in Lehi, and water came out, and he drank. And his spirit returned, and he revived. Therefore he called its name En-Hekor, which is in Lehi to this day. And he judged Israel 20 years in the days of the Philistines. May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.